He's my uncle and yours. And we're just gonna come down here and meet him halfway.
Yikes.
May I present Uncle Rocky? I am wonderful, honey. How are you?
I'm good. I'm going to sit because I'll fall if I don't.
We prefer you sit.
All right.
It's a regulation. All right.
I was going to wear the same outfit. So, hi, my name is Rocky. I am from Brooklyn. It's the home to the world's best pizza, best pastries, and the original 5 crime families. I'm married to Pixie for almost 40 years. It'll be 40 years in May. Yeah. Pixie's a saint. So we have cute nicknames for each other. I call her She Who Must Be Obeyed, and she calls me Double H. You might think that that would mean Happy Hubby, but no, it's human hemorrhoid, and she calls me that because I am a giant pain in the ass. How about these hurricanes? We're here tonight to raise money for hurricanes. One thing I discovered during the hurricanes, Pixie decides that if the power goes out, we have to keep the house cool for as long as possible. She sets it down to 60. What I found out is that frostbite is a cure for neuropathy. So we've had one Italian up before me. I'm Italian. There's an Italian up after me. You know, Italians, we like to talk with our hands a lot. Pixie especially. She's always going a mile a minute, a mile a minute. Last summer, she broke her wrist and she developed a speech impediment. She just stood there going, eh, 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 eh. Pixie's like a fresh cannoli. She smells great. She tastes delicious. But like too many cannolis, she's killing me slowly. When I was about to marry Pixie, I went up to my dad and I said, Pop, what do I need to know? There's got to be a secret. He says, you need to know 2 words. Yes, dear. And I thought to myself, that's way too simple. So I go to my Italian nonno and I say, Grandpa, what do I have to know? He says, Rocky, you got to listen to me. He says, you can tell a lot about an Italian girl by the way she uses her hands. I said, how so, Pop? He goes, well, I have to tell you, if her hands are wrapped around your neck, she's a pissed off. You know you're Italian when you haven't talked to a family member since 1979 and you have no idea why. Italians in the room? Yeah? So, Pixie will have about 50% of a conversation in her head before bringing me into it. And at that point, I'm accused of never paying attention. I, on the other hand, never mention anything. Because if I say, hey, I talked to Phil, everything is good back home in New York, I am exposed to a series of follow-up questions that eat up the next 2 days of my life. Maturing in marriage is accepting the fact that your wife can't remember where she left her glasses, but yet she can remember something I said in 1984 on a Tuesday in April at 9:53 p.m. Any New Yorkers here? Any New York? All right, my peeps. So you know what it's like driving in New York, right? When you drive in New York, inevitably you end up behind a garbage truck. So I'm with my little nephew Matt, and we're driving behind the garbage truck. The garbage truck hits a speed bump. Garbage flies out. This giant dildo smashes into the windshield. The kid's bug-eyed. I say, I don't want to have an embarrassing conversation. I said, Matt, don't worry about it. It's just a bug. He looks me dead in the eye and he goes, Uncle Rocky, how does that bug fly with a dick that big? It's a good one, right? I'm probably I'm not the oldest guy in the room. My buddy Pat is, but I'm probably the second oldest guy in the room. So I want to talk a little bit about aging. When you age, it's not like when you went through puberty. When you went through puberty, people told you what to expect. They told you you're going to grow hair, you have to have better hygiene, all these different things. But when you get old, nobody warns you. They don't tell you the hair leaves your head and it moves to your back. They don't tell you things that used to just randomly go up, constantly stay down. It's just a shit show. Now, at this point in my life, it actually takes me longer to start peeing than it does to actually pee. And when I do, it's a series of urinary dots and dashes. It's like Morse code. Ships at sea have started to respond. You can see now I have a few tattoos, and I got a new one without Pixie knowing. And we're sitting out by the pool, and she notices I have 3 lines tattooed above my knee. She says, I don't understand. What does that represent? I said, well, you remember when the kids were little, we would chart their growth on the door jamb, right? To see how quickly they were growing. She says, I get that, but I don't get the 3 lines. I said, well, I'm actually measuring the impact of gravity on my testicles. She says, I get that. She says, but why the dotted line? I said, this is the key. At that point, I have to stop wearing shorts. Thank you. There are 4 rules of aging, so those of you who are young, pay attention. The first is, you never pass up a bathroom. The second is, you never waste an erection. The third is, you never get on the floor without a plan to get back up. And fourth, and most importantly, never trust a fart. I want your name and number. I want you at every one of my shows. Have you heard about this new senior necklace that they're coming out with? Do you remember when you were a kid, they had those candy necklaces? They used to wear them on your neck, and guys, like, you're 7, 8 years old, you see a little girl, you give her the necklace, and all of a sudden you have a girlfriend. Well, they're coming out with a new one for seniors. It's made of gummies and Viagra. Go to your local dispensary, they'll be out November 1st. I got an invitation to go to a celebration of life. My cardiologist passed away. He was worried about me, and he drops dead. So I go to the celebration of life, and behind the casket is this giant heart, and it's festooned with flowers. It's beautiful. So all the eulogies happen. After the last eulogy, the heart opens up, the casket slides in, and it closes. And now he's sealed for all eternity in this heart. I hear laughter coming from the back of the room. So I go up to the guy and I say, well, why are you laughing? He says, well, my friend, I have to tell you, my name is Dr. Tim Patel, and I was just thinking of my own funeral. You see, I'm a gynecologist. The proctologist fell out of his chair. So before back surgeries and using the walker, Pixie got me hypnotized, and I actually lost 100 pounds through hypnosis. I'm also a member of Liars Anonymous. Now, I actually had been going to the gym and taking classes, and I was taking this one class, and it's called Stretch Flex. Part yoga, part stretching, little weight training. It was a good class. So the first time I go in the back of the room because I don't want to get in the way. There's like 18 women, mature women, all with their little yoga pants on. I'm standing in the back. The instructor says, all right, let's move into the position called downward facing dog. You know this position? Yeah. I'm in the back of the room, and suddenly I'm like Saturn. I'm just surrounded by moons. As part of the rehabilitation, they measured me for a device called the bone growth stimulator. So they come to the house, they take the measurements, the girl takes it out of the box, and she puts it over my head. I've never seen Pixie look so disappointed. She had a complete different bone in mind. So I decide that I'm going to drive Uber to make a couple extra bucks. The economy's rough, interest rates are up, so I decide I'm going to drive Uber. I get a call, first pickup in Sarasota, I pull up, and it's a nun. So sister gets in the car, and I'm staring at sister in the rear view. Sister's looking up at me, and I can't stop staring at sister. So she says, why do you keep staring at me? I said, well, sister, you have to understand, I'm a Catholic schoolboy, and I'm a little twisted, and I've always had a fantasy of kissing a nun. Sister says, well, if you're single and you're Catholic, I'll kiss you. So I get into the back seat, sister and I are making out. She's kissing me like a drunk girl on prom night. I get back into the front of the car, we're driving. I said, sister, I have to tell you, I'm feeling a little guilty. She says, why, my son? I said, well, sister, I'm actually married and I'm Jewish. Sister replies, it's okay, sweetie, my name is Kevin and I'm on my way to a Halloween party. Thank you. Thank you very much. So, you know, there's some nice stuff on the table there that you can participate in the silent auction. The tattoo place I go to gave us a $200 gift card. If nobody wants it, I'm buying it. So if you want it, get up there quickly. And let's thank these guys at Noisemakers for donating the place. Really very cool. Thanks very much. Thanks for being here. Dig deep. Thank you, honey.
Thank you, Uncle.